I'll take that one.
Awesome. I've got investors. All right. Well, the voice you just heard right there belongs to Mix Macabre, who's going to give us the latest and greatest info on 2017's Katsucon.
Katsucon, my favorite convention all year.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is it? I always look forward to Katsucon. It's at the Gaylord National Harbor, which has a beautiful. I know you do this every year, Pat.
I got mine out last year. I worked it out.
Single year, I come back from Katsucon and I say I went to the Gaylord National Harbor, and Pat, just so you know, Pat, it was at the Gaylord National Harbor, and it was extremely double plus gay this year because for those who are not hip to the anime zeitgeist, Yuri on Ice came out this year.
Oh yeah,
and it is a how do I put this? A gay ice skating anime.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just like the implied yaoi's
like
gay. It's like pretty. Exactly.
I believe you've explained this before, and I was absolutely fascinated at that time too.
Ice skating anime. No, it's really good anime.
I feel like we did explain.
There were a lot of them.
At the mention of the Gaylord National, I probably laughed like couldn't breathe.
So for those who don't know, but have ever seen cosplayer photos in front of a gazebo, this is the infamous gazebo convention with an atrium hall. This year we were blessed with wonderful weather. Oh my God. I mean, Katsucon is often plagued by blizzard travel days. You know, one year, I think it was 2013, our car spun out. We almost did Mega's crazy times. But this year everything was like 60 degrees. It was beautiful. But the convention itself is one of the larger ones. I don't remember the exact attendance, but it's in like the upper thousands, like nothing like Anime Boston is starting to hit the 20,000 mark. Katsucon's probably like maybe 10,000 maximum, maybe more toward 8,000.
But that's a good. That's what you want, though, right?
It's getting there
a little bit too.
Oh yeah, then you get Anime Boston's ridiculous these days, and then you have Otakon, the like white whale of East Coast conventions. But Katsucon, it's a really interesting convention because it's kind of a mixed bag on the types of cosplayers you get. You get a lot of those I don't want to say high end cosplayers. But my phone thought I was talking to it for some reason.
It's a sexy voice. I'll talk to it.
I just threw it on the floor. For those watching us, I just threw my phone on the floor so that my phone would not use my full name that I told it to call me.
Oh, wow. Now I want to listen to that one later.
But anyway.
I think we're just being haunted by the Ghost 1.0.
Yeah, Ghost 1.0 set my Siri off. But anyway, so Katsucon attracts a lot of the, I hate to say big name cosplayers because personally I'm not the biggest fan of like professional cosplay as a concept, but that's a whole rant for a different day. But you get really quality cosplays at this convention. But then on the other hand, you get a dude dressed as Macho Man Randy Savage who was doing the voice all weekend, and he was so good. And then my personal favorite thing that happened all weekend, I want to give a shout out to the Party Wizard Squad.
A shout out?
Shout out.
Okay, all right. That was
shout out.
Enunciation is important, kids.
To the Party Wizard Squad. I mean, if you party hard enough with these wizards, man. And they were a bunch of dudes all dressed in various colors as Gandalf with staffs made of beer cans that lit up on the end, and they just kept speaking in a wizardly voice.
Party wizards, I like
nice. they would like, someone would come up to them and be like, yo, can I get a picture with you? And they'd be like, yes. And they'd all put like those like the shades with the slats on it on, like party shades. Oh, yes. Be like, you come to us now at the turn of the party. Like, they get into an elevator, one of them would yell, fly, you fools. And they'd all
slat shades down to the Kanye's.
Yeah, it was the Kanye's, all right. But it was just, they were really great. And that's the kind of stuff that Katsucon really breeds, this great culture of, really like incredible Overwatch cosplayers. I saw insane Overwatch cosplays. There was a Junkrat there that their hair lit up like it looked like it was on fire. If you don't know this character, his hair is on fire in the game. Yeah. And someone made a wig that had not just like LEDs, but little puffs of like vapor. It was insane. People are insane.
That's dangerous.
And then on the other hand, I got a picture. Oh, I forgot to send this one in. I have to do it. Evil Kermit. For those who don't know that meme, it's saying you shouldn't do something, and then Evil Kermit says to you, do it.
Yes.
But I actually went up to him and I was like, "Hey, buddy, can I take your picture? I don't want to interrupt you." And he goes, "No, interrupt me." And it was just so good, like just such a quality convention. And the location is at the Gaylord National Harbor. For those who don't know, that's outside DC, about 15 minutes, and it's this insane, almost like La La Land place of, there's the giant hotel, there's a couple other hotels nearby, there's a lot of places to eat, a lot of great places for photo shoots, and the convention itself, while not technically a 24-hour con in the sense of like MagFest, which has things running 24/7, they do have panels that run very, very late. There's a really good dance. I know that Greg Ayers always does DJing at Katsucon.
All right. Now, I remember over the last couple of years, well, last year especially, there were some problems with the events and the dance.
I personally, with paneling, still do not like the policy they implemented last year. For those who don't know or recall, they now require you to purchase a $40 panelist badge to run panels, which benefits those who would otherwise be purchasing a standard rate pass. But I think it's absurd that they still require members of the press or members of the dealer's room or artist alley who are already paying. Now, those people are already paying to be there. A vendor or an artist alley participant have purchased their table space. They still need a $40 badge. So it's unfortunate that I've stopped bringing my Girls Guide to Hentai panel to this convention. But at the same time, it now affords me more availability to attend different things.
Right.
And as for the dance,
but the hentai goes wanting.
The hentai never goes wanting. Don't worry.
All right.
I actually one of the first times ever I had someone ask to take a selfie with me for having dubbed a hentai. So that was cool.
Nice.
So this was funny. Actually, I slipped and fell on some water at the convention and had to go to medical when I'm in a unicorn. Really? So I'm in a unicorn kigurumi. So I'm in like unicorn footy pajamas and I slipped and fell and I twisted my ankle badly enough that I had to have it iced and wrapped. So medical comes put me in a wheelchair to get me over to medical. And I'm sitting in this wheelchair at a unicorn kigurumi and I'm just like,
that's how they went extinct.
Out of my way, mortals, make way for the unicorn queen. And it was very, very funny. People took pictures of me like in the kigu in the wheelchair because it was funny. I'm posing and stuff. And the gentleman who helped me, we were getting to chatting and I was saying, he was like, oh, where were you off to? I said, I wanted to go to a hentai panel. And he goes, oh, I don't want to be crude, but I have a large hentai collection. And we were kind of chatting about it. And I mentioned that I had done some voice acting for hentai and he was like, can I get a selfie? And it was kind of very affirming for me. It was really cool.
He didn't happen to have your video, did he?
No, but you could purchase it at the Media Blasters booth in the convention. So I don't know if he went and did that, but I told him where to find it. He said he already owned that one, actually. He was like, that's why he was freaking out. He's like, I may have that one.
He knew exactly where it's like.
But it was actually really funny, like, not to harp on medical, but like they had all these Batman like bed sheets hung up to make little cots. There was there was someone who spoke Japanese who was too drunk to remember how to speak English, and he just was yelling that he couldn't find his cell phone. And I have to say the funniest panel I attended at the convention was slipping and falling and going to medical on Saturday night. But no, they have really interesting stuff. I went to a couple different meetups.
I just want to pause real quick. That guy's dressing as you next year.
I can only hope because it's a pink nurse uniform. So God bless you, sir.
Nice.
But there were some really great meetups. I walked past the Borderlands meetup because I had a couple of friends that were cosplaying from that. And they're just crazy. For those who don't know, Borderlands, all the characters are cel shaded. And people, another thing that people would do is like Archer cosplay. They do this for. And they would draw the cel shading onto themselves. And it was just really, really well done.
I tried that. That's really hard too. So
yeah. One of the best things I saw all week on Sunday on my way out, there was somebody dressed as Aku from Samurai Jack. And he was like 14 feet tall.
Back too, and it's
I know,
be
in March.
Good.
Samurai Jack coming back.
I would have done the Scotsman from Samurai Jack.
You can do it. Come to a con, man.
A solid week of
the show's coming back.
You gotta help me save my wife. Oh,
actually,
my wife.
On my birthday, Cartoon Network now has. If you go to Cartoon Network's website, they have every episode on there streaming for free.
It's so good.
They just put that up early in the month. But yeah, one of the best things though is a full size Snorlax with someone in it, like a cosplay. And we will have a picture of this because I took a picture.
Okay.
And it just was not blocking for real. You could still walk past it, but blocking a door. And people pretending that they couldn't walk past the Snorlax.
Wow.
And then an Ash walks out and has his little like polka flute. And then the Snorlax waddles away. And it was just such a ride. And that's the kind of culture that I feel Katsucon in particular just breeds this kind of jovial, a little bit less on the competition side of things. I see Anime Boston. It's taken a lot of people take cosplay very, very seriously there. They pose for pictures,
which is almost ridiculous when you think about it, though. You know what I mean?
Dressed up as some
you're
goober.
Dressed up as a goober. You can't.
I'm a goober. You're a goober. We're all goobers. Let's goober together.
Yeah, let's have a good time. And it's funny when you take it to that level where it's like competitive. It's like you look at us right now, right? You can't look me in the face without kind of seeing the absurdity of it all.
That's something I find that it attracts a good breed of people who put a lot of effort into their cosplays. Or, there was somebody with I think it was a printed out picture of Bernie Sanders' head with a little bow on it and in a schoolgirl uniform. And it was just hilarious. And it was just Bernie senpai, it's just, but that level of just silly irreverence. And they have a really good merchants hall. They have a really good anime dealer's room, and, not my thing, but the dance I hear is extremely good. They have really interesting DJs that come and do it, people that are more known, and most of my friends that I was staying with went to the dance and all said that it was spectacular. So Katsucon, I think, is one of the better East Coast anime cons. It's an 11-hour trip down from here because with traffic, and it's well worth it. I've been going for many, many years and always relish the opportunity.
From what I remember, last year you went to Katsucon and there was some issues you had with it. Did they resolve those this year?
So yeah, it seems like whoever they had who kept moving panels, for example. The game room was being really weird about letting people in with certain costumes that had pockets, which was insane to me. What am I going to do? Stuff a PlayStation in my pocket? But they seem to be way more, I don't want to say lax, because they're definitely security was doing its job and the convention seemed to be well run. Mm-hmm. They definitely seem to be more on the money this year. I don't know if they had a change of staff, but things definitely seem to be much more on point. There was even a way that you can go on the Katsucon website and look up photo shoot times, which was really cool. And it just seemed like it was run pretty well. Unfortunately, real quick, the convention wrapped itself up early on Sunday.